Hello everyone, I hope you are doing really well. Today I'm back with an exciting video. So I thought it was time that I do a bookish video because I feel like I haven't sat down and spoke about books one-on-one with you for a very long time, and if you know me, that is one of my main loves in life, hence the, I feel like you can't actually see, hence the bookshelf. This is my most prized possession, and I recently am trying to really expand the books that I'm reading. I'm taking lots of recommendations from my loved ones because I think if someone else loves this book, maybe there's a reason that I should give it a go. So yeah, I'm really trying to broaden my horizons, read a lot more general fiction rather than just romantasy, which is kind of what I was reading a lot of last year. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I have decided to let my loved ones pick my TBR for the next few weeks. This idea was definitely inspired by Sara Carolli. She is probably, I was going to say my favourite book YouTuber, but I have a lot of favourite book YouTubers. So I have seen her do this video a few times. I always get very excited when I see it on her Instagram stories. But basically the concept is you put on your Instagram stories a poll and you are basically asking people to pick out of two books, and the only thing they have to go off is an emoji that you pick for each book. Well, emojis, and people are then going to vote based off of the emojis which book they think you should read. And do you know what? I didn't realise how hard it would be picking the emojis for the books. I decided to ask my loved ones to help me pick 5 books. So I made a close friends story on Instagram and added my nearest and dearest and asked them to vote. I tried to do a few different genres. I tried to put in some general fiction, some romance, and a fantasy pick, of course, because I feel like I need that void filled. So let's dive in and I can tell you about the polls. I'm going to show you the emojis that I picked and we will see the results. Excuse the fact I'm going to be glancing down at my phone for the next few minutes because I have my emojis here that I picked so that I can let you know what I picked. So for option 1, I picked the emojis: an ice cube, a little frozen face, and a blue heart, and that was representing The Great Alone by Kristen. I have read The Nightingale by Kristen, and it was one of my only 5-star reads last year. I absolutely adored it, and I have a friend who is very much into Kristen books and absolutely swears by every single one. To be honest, I am sold on her writing anyway. I don't really need any convincing, but my issue was which Kristen book to dive into next. So I decided to put as option 1 The Great Alone. This book is about a teenage girl who moves to Alaska with her parents, I believe, and her parents are in a very toxic relationship, and it's about her struggles being in a really isolated environment in quite an isolating household, and it sounds really good. It sounds like a wintry read, which feels perfect for the weather currently. It's very, very cold. So that was option 1, and to be honest, out of these 2 books I didn't really have a preference what was going to win. So for book 2, the emojis are a rocket, a telescope, and Saturn. I'm gonna build a little drum roll. Can you guess what the book is? I bet you can. Atmosphere by Jenkins-Reid. I have wanted to read this book again quite desperately since it came out, and my friend Ellie has been quite forceful with this, to be honest. She really wants me to read this book. She even messaged me saying, I think I get an overriding vote on this poll and you have to read Atmosphere. If you don't know what Atmosphere is about, it is about Joan, who is an astrophysicist in the 80s, and she is training to be an astronaut, and it's kind of around the time where the first spaceships were sent into space, and it's kind of female innovation. I believe this is a female love story, but I think it sounds really interesting. It definitely sounds like nothing I've read before. Jenkins-Reid is really good at transporting you into these different worlds, and I feel like I might learn some stuff. So I am going to be honest, I don't know what has won this poll. So I screenshotted them instantly and kind of tried to not look so that I could look back with you. So, the winners of book 1 is Atmosphere. Quite close, to be honest. That is very close, but I'm definitely excited to read this book. It is a cult favourite for a reason. People have been raving about this book for months, saying it's one of Taylor Jenkins-Reid's best pieces of work, which is quite a claim for an author who has so many amazing books. So yeah, that's exciting. I guess I will be reading Atmosphere in the coming weeks. Okay, poll number 2 is for one of my romance books for the month. It is February, of course I need some romance in my life in this month. So for option 1, I went for A Mermaid, a book and a magnifying glass, and that is to represent female fantasy by Iman Hariri-Kia. So this is the cover of the book, and I haven't heard many people talking about this book, but the plot sounds so funny and interesting to me. So it is about a woman who basically is in love with a character from her favourite book. She writes fanfic about this book. It says her two loves in her life are swooning over this book and writing fanfic over the main character. So I'm sure we all have a character we feel that way about. Basically, she finds out that the character is based off of a real man, and she sets out to find him, essentially, which just sounds so interesting. And yeah, I thought that'd be a really fun read for February. And then for option 2, it is an old man emoji, a heart, and a house. So that is to represent Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. This book is about a 26-year-old woman who is living in her mum's spare room. Her mum is recently married or engaged, and she feels like she's basically invading her mum's space. She is trying to get on with her career. She keeps getting turned down for placements, and she kind of just feels stuck in a rut living in her mum's spare room. And then she meets a man who lives next door with a daughter, hence the title of the book. This man is a bit older. I believe he is late 40s, so there is age gap. This is an age gap romance, and I have heard great things about this book. I haven't read anything by Kate Goldbeck before, but I thought I'll give it a go if it comes so highly recommended. So the poll for this book ended up Daddy Issues won by a long stretch. I don't know what people were thinking with the old man emoji. Maybe they thought it was going to be some cute old man, but that was the only thing I could think of for an age gap romance. If you have any ideas for future reference, please let me know, because all I could think was old man. Yeah, there we go. I guess I will be reading Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck this month. Okay, on to book number 3. The emojis that I picked for book number 1 are the yellow sun face. I've definitely gave away the book just from that. A writing pen, and then a lady kind of hidden behind a laptop. I'll pop them on the screen so you know what I mean. And that was to represent, of course, Yellowface. For this competition between these two books, I basically wanted to put some things on my physical TBR to try and get through them. So I feel like this is a cult classic book. It is not typically a genre that I read. I don't read a lot of general fiction, but Rebecca F. Kuang obviously has a lot of very popular books, and yeah, comes highly recommended. This book is a general fiction book that I will say has definitely appealed to me for a long time. So my understanding of this book is it is about two writers who are rivals, and one of them passes away in a freak accident, and then the other one steals her work and I think releases it as her own. So yeah, I really like books that are kind of set in a literary environment and yeah, have publicists and authors, and yeah, I just find that super interesting. This book also smells fabulous. I'm sure a lot of other readers know what I mean and aren't going to think I sound like a weirdo, but this has a particularly nice smell. How many pages are in this? I hate checking this, and in case I see what happens. 322. So that'll be a nice easy one to delve into Rebecca F. Kuang's writing. And then for book number 2, the emojis I picked were some shopper bags, a plane and a department store. And this is to represent the Dallergut Dream department store, which I have wanted to read for so long. I bought this so long ago, because how fabulous is this cover? It just completely sold it to me. This is a Korean bestseller book, by the way, and I'm going to explain to you the plot of this book, and I feel like a lot of people are going to find it really interesting as well. So, in a mysterious town hidden in our collective subconscious, there's a department store that sells dreams. So every floor in this department store represents a specific type of dream. So it says childhood memories, dreams of stardom, your crush, flying dreams, and there is a new hire in the shop who's kind of uncovering the world that she is working in. My all-time favourite book as a child, I don't think you'll be able to see, is The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. That was my favourite book growing up, and reading the plot of this book kind of just reminded me of that, which is what sold it to me. I feel like it might be quite a nostalgic read in that kind of stepping into a new world each day. It just sounds magical, and I really, really wanted both of these to be picked. So the poll was kind of resounding. I'm going to be reading Yellowface. 62-38. That is quite the difference. Did I just pick bad emojis, or does everyone think the plot of Yellowface sounds better? Let me know. But like I said, I want to read all 10 books that I put in the options, so I feel 50% excited, 50% sad that books I don't want to, well, books that I want to read aren't being chosen, but also books I want to read are being chosen. Do you know my issue? Okay, let's get on to book number 4. Okay, the emojis that I picked for option 1 are a star, some stars kind of sprinkled across the night sky, and a prince, and that is for Heavenly Bodies. I have only heard amazing things about this book. So it is about a woman who has a prophecy that she will fall for a star and it will kill for them both, and the plot mentions something about a prince training her, hence why I picked them emojis. But to be honest, I mainly based them on the cover because the cover is absolutely beautiful. I seen that this book was in Sophia Tuxford's book club a few months ago, and I feel like I have quite similar reading taste to her, so if she loved a book, then I'm going to hope that I would also love it. And then for book number 2, I did a rock, some sparkly stars, and a heart eyes emoji. Can you tell I was struggling with this one a little bit? So option number 2 is Brimstone. I read Quicksilver in, was it December? And yep, I loved that book. I really, really loved it. I actually immersive read that book. I listened to the audiobook and read the Kindle book at the same time, and people really recommend that with the Callie Hart series. So here you go, here's your suggestion. Just saying, I think you might enjoy it. So of course I need to carry on the series and read Brimstone. I've heard that it's maybe not as amazing as Quicksilver, but I love the story, I love the characters, so I'm excited to dip back into the world. And the results are in. 62-38% again. So I'm going to be reading Heavenly Bodies, which is exciting. Do I feel guilty that I'm starting a new series rather than carrying on one that I've already started? A little bit, but I'm always excited to step into a new romantic world, and this one comes very highly recommended. So yeah, I'm excited. And then, as it is Love Month, I thought it was only right that we have 2 romance entries. So for book number 1, I picked a love letter, a telephone, and then the red phone. So that was for First Time Caller by BK Borison, and I read, oh my god, what is it called? The BK Borison Good Spirits. I read that in December, and I know that people loved it, and people also really recommended First Time Caller, so I thought, let's give another one of her books a go. I remember last Valentine's Day, people were really raving about this book. Yeah, it came out the day before Valentine's Day last year. So this book is about a radio host who I believe has someone call in asking for dating advice, and then it ends up being a love story between the two of them, which sounds amazing, sounds really fun, and yeah, is a perfect kind of Valentine's Day plot. And then for option number 2, I have Twin Girls Dancing, an Eagle, and a Repeat. And that is for The Two Lives of Lydia Bird. Josie Silver is one of my all-time favourite festive romance writers, and I have never read a non-festive book by her, so I feel like it is absolutely time that I dip into some of her other works, because yeah, I absolutely love her writing. So this book is about a couple who've been together for a very long time. The male main character passes away in an accident. So the way that this book is described, it says, then something unbelievable happens. Lydia gets another chance at her old life with Freddie, but what if there's someone in her new life who wants her to stay? So it's kind of a second chance romance, but kind of just a second chance at life, and I thought that sounded really interesting. I've not read anything else like that, so yeah, I am happy for either of them to win. I have kind of one plot that I am more interested in, which is First Time Caller, and then I have a author who I know I love, so I'm hoping I will like both books, but the winner for this, I don't actually know. Okay, interesting. The winner is Two Lives of Lydia Bird, which is exciting. Like I said, I love Josie Silver's writing, so I'm really excited. I feel like I have an amazing list of books to read for the coming up weeks, months. I'm not going to rush. These are books that my loved ones have put time into voting for. I'm going to cherish them. And I will make a reading vlog of my thoughts on these 5 books. To summarise, the 5 books that I'm reading are Atmosphere, Yellowface, Daddy Issues, Heavenly Bodies, and Two Lives of Lydia Bird. Let me know what you would have voted for, because I'm very intrigued. If I'm being completely honest, what I would have voted for is Atmosphere. In fact, are there any that I would switch? This is very hard. This is the point. This is why I couldn't be trusted to pick what I'm reading, and that I lent on other people. But yeah, thank you so much, obviously, to Sara Carolli for the video idea, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing me pick my TBR for the coming up months, and make sure to check back in and see my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm not sure when this is going to get posted, but I hope you have had a lovely Valentine's Day. I am going to have a lovely meal at home with my partner, hopefully, and yeah, just very chilled, excited for love season. As always, I think we should always just celebrate every little thing in life that we can, because life is too short, and it's too short to read bad books, so if they vote badly, I will let you know. Right, hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!